Hello, thank you for joining me here at McCook's Point Park in Niantic, Connecticut. My name's Joanne Moore, and I'm a member of the Niantic Community Church, a certified Labyrinth facilitator, and a physical therapist. We're at the Labyrinth here, between the bandstand and the hole-in-the-wall beach. This labyrinth was built this spring by members of the Niantic Community Church. I come here a couple times a week to water the rose bushes that the Men's Fellowship planted, and invariably I see people of all ages walking the labyrinth, and even those who don't walk it and they're just passing by, they stop and admire its architecture. This is a traditional 7-circuit labyrinth. Its pattern is at least 2,000 years old, and it's found all over the world. We don't know exactly why it was built, but it seems to be located in places that were considered spiritual for some reason. It's used today by organized religion as a way of prayer. It's used by people who are spiritual as a form of meditation, and it's used in secular ways as well. Writers use it to overcome writer's block, artists seek inspiration here, and there is evidence that the labyrinth improves the conditions of people who have PTSD. I guess my point is there's no defined reason for why we have labyrinths. So I invite you to try it for yourself and see what it means to you. I'd be remiss as a physical therapist if I didn't comment on the walking component of the labyrinth meditation. There are lots of ways to meditate, but most involve sitting quietly. To walk, though, is to invite the body-soul connection. To walk is so instinctive. Babies work tirelessly until they get the hang of it. And as we age, we grieve the loss of being able to walk. And if you think back to the Bible, you'll remember that Jesus taught his disciples as they walked. Jesus walked with his disciples. So a walking meditation allows us to bring more of our whole being into this conversation with God. As humans, we learn through our senses. And so this allows us to participate more fully in the experience of this meditation. Our oldest well-defined history of the labyrinth comes from the 1200s, when the cathedrals of Western Europe were being built. And when people looked closely, they found evidence of labyrinths being built into the floor of those cathedrals. And at that time, the Labyrinth Walk was a metaphor for a pilgrimage to the Holy Land. A pilgrimage to the Holy Land was a once-in-a-lifetime event for those lucky few who did it. And it wasn't taken lightly. A pilgrimage to the Holy Land was undertaken when a person felt a strong need to have a connection to God. They had a specific intention in mind when they did that. They were seeking forgiveness, or perhaps seeking a favor. So when you start your labyrinth walk, make sure that you have your intention in mind. The more clearly you understand why you're doing it, the more likely it is that you'll get out of it what you need. Your intention may be to seek calm, or to seek forgiveness, or to shed anger. If you're coming into this labyrinth with a sense of being burdened, carry a stone with you as a symbol of that burden, and then leave it in God's lap in the center. Or maybe you're coming into the labyrinth with a sense of gratitude and joy. Perhaps bring with you a hand-painted stone or a shell from the beach, and leave that in the center as your token of gratitude. Of course, these tokens are not required, but we find that if you're manipulating an object in your hand as you're walking, it helps us to stay focused on our purpose, on our intention for it. Now, despite all the best planning, every traveler knows that a journey never goes exactly as we expect. So along the labyrinth's path, you'll notice some long spells of walking that are very easy to manage. And then you'll notice some spots where there are twists and turns and you need to quickly change direction and check your balance. You may think that you're nearing the center and then you find yourself moving away again. Each of these represents the adaptations that we make during our life journey. Trust that each change brings you closer to your center. And don't worry, you won't get lost. This is not a maze. There are no barriers. There's no decisions to make. Your only decision is to enter the labyrinth. Once you enter, simply follow the path to the center. Now, once you arrive at the center, you're welcome to stay for as long as you like. I find it helpful to have some structure to my meditation in the center. So I kind of follow the book of Genesis, and I meditate first on the oceans, and then on the earth, on the animals, on the people, and then I meditate on the people who have died and gone before me, on the angels and saints, and on the divine. And then I wait. We all know that we learn more from listening than we do from talking, and the waiting is sometimes hard. We need to wait for the response. The response may come while we're in the center, or it may come in God's time. But I promise it will come. When you're ready and you've received your inspiration, you can leave your token at the center and walk back following the same path. Note whether your turns feel easier. Note whether your steps feel lighter. Did it take a shorter time to come out than it took to come in? You'll soon find yourself at the end. You will re-enter the same world, but as a new person. Take a moment to reflect on your meditation and feel the gratitude for the experience. Amen.